love the track, but could you add a little extra magic dust?
Yes. You ever have a drop that just needs like a little extra oomph, like some extra flair, some added energy without changing the whole production? You just need to give it like a little extra.
What the? How long has that been there?
Well, today I'm going to show you a little trick to add some extra juice to your productions. I call it the super string. I don't know if there's another name for it. If there is, go ahead and tell me in the comments, but it's my YouTube channel and I'll do what I want. I'm going to call it the super string.
You cannot.
So this trick is often used in EDM and pop productions just to add like a little extra energy without really being noticeable. You don't really notice it when it's there, but if you take it away, all of a sudden everything feels just like 10% less exciting. So I'm working on this trance track, kind of just messing around. It sounds like this. Here's the drop. So you can hear it's already a pretty high energy track, but it does feel like it's lacking some of the oomph. So let's go working on this super string. Now you can make this effect with pretty much any basic subtractive synthesizer plugin, wavetable synths. If it's capable of making a super saw, you can make this sound with it. So just because it's very ubiquitous, we're going to go ahead and use Serum today to make this sound. We're going to name this track Super String. So the first thing you want to do is you just add one big long note in the root key of the song. This song's an A, so let's go ahead and add an A. And we're just going to make it super, super, super high. Well, that sounds like crap. So we're going to start off by just blasting these oscillators as saw waves, as much unison, as many voices as you can do. And then we're going to detune them quite a bit more from where they started by default. And just to widen it up even more, we're going to go ahead and detune the first oscillator down a few cents and the second oscillator up a few cents. And we'll widen it out just by panning these left and right a little bit as well. Pretty close already to what we're going for. We're going to juice it up even more. You could stop here, but don't. So I'm going to go ahead and group that. Command G, Control G, whatever platform you're using. And we're just going to duplicate that. We're going to hit Command D, and now we have a second instance of Serum. Let's solo that one for a second. And we're going to detune this even more. And we're going to play with the waveforms just a little bit. We're going to go to bend, plus and minus. Starting to get pretty spicy. Turn that down a little bit. We're going to turn these both down just to keep our gain in check. We're going to turn them both down by -6. Maybe turn that one down a little bit more. So what makes this a string and not a saw? Well, you need to smooth it out a little bit to get more of a string effect. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a reverb. You can just use Ableton's built-in reverb. You can use FabFilter Pro R, Valhalla. It doesn't really matter too much because we're not using the reverb as much for how lovely the tail it is, as much as we are using a reverb to smooth everything out. So I'm going to change the density to high because I don't like CPU efficiency. And we're going to make the dry wet pretty high, and we're going to make that pre-delay all the way down to the bottom there, as fast as it can go. Maybe cut a little bit of the highs in the diffusion network. And we're going to take that size down. Maybe give it some chorus. Couple more little tweaks. Now we need to EQ this. So I'm just going to grab EQ8 here. We're actually going to put this before the reverb. EQ 0.1, change that to 4x. I believe that is 24 decibels per octave. 48? I don't know. Here's the trick. We're going to cut everything up to and including the fundamental. Almost there. Now we just need to sidechain it. Maybe add a little bit more width. So we're going to grab a chorus, throw that after the EQ, give it a little warmth, slow down that rate, feedback, play with it a little bit. All these things just kind of smooth out the sound a little bit and make it a little less of just like one note. It's still one note, but it's a little bit more interesting this way. Now we're going to sidechain it. I'm just going to grab LFO tool. You could use Kickstart, or you could just do it with a compressor. The way you sidechain it is not necessarily that important. It's just the end result that we're looking for. Dunzo. Here we are. Okay, let's check this out. So we're going to listen to the track again without this effect. Now let's listen to it with. Energy for days. Now, one of the most important things when you add a superstring to your track is the level. You don't want it to be too loud. You can get away with having it very, very, very quiet. The louder you get, the more noticeable it becomes, and the more it becomes like a central element of the track. We don't want it to take over or detract from anything in the song. We just want it to add a little bit of energy. So if we have it super loud, it's too much. It's too much. Way too much. So we're going to back it down a lot. So it's barely there, but when it's gone, you definitely notice it. Here it is with. And without. So this trick is all about subtlety. Not every single thing you do to a song needs to be some drastic move that makes a big impact on the track. A lot of little elements that you add make a big difference. Small changes, that's what's going to make your productions better and better and better and better. Little things that when they're not there, you don't necessarily miss them, but when they're there, they just add a little bit of 3D pop and make everything feel a little bit more immersive. And I like doing this in all different places within a song. You can add a super string to a drop. You can add it to just a second drop, maybe to give it a little bit of lift towards the end of the song. Sometimes you can use it during a breakdown to add some tension. It's very, very useful. Let me know if you've used this trick before or if it's your first time hearing about it. Try it out. Drop a comment below. And of course, if you found value in this video, I would appreciate it if you subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.